The story begins with a scene being filmed for a YouTube channel. Kong Dokil, a B-rank hunter, runs a channel with his team called We Solve Everything. He's rude and ill-mannered. He yells at the cameraman to start recording, and the cameraman promptly turns on the camera. Kong introduces himself and announces to his viewers that today's episode will showcase strategies against upper C-ranked monsters known as Arachne. He points toward the monsters and explains, as you can see, Arachne live in groups just like spiders. In fact, they're classified as a spider-type species. While his teammates prepare to face the monsters, Kong remains focused on filming. He adds, "These monsters are completely different from the spiders we know on Earth." Drawing his sword, he demonstrates, these creatures don't attack immediately. They shoot webs first. Suddenly, the monsters rush toward them. His teammates panic. Kong shouts that the monsters are charging. One of the beasts lunges at Kong and strikes. He yells and fends off the piercing attack, then screams at the cameraman to stop recording. Our boy Saiwu serves as the team's strategist, cameraman, and editor. He appears frightened but responds firmly that he cannot stop filming. The footage continues as the Arachne demonstrate their typical hunting style. They bind their prey with webs before injecting poison to slowly kill them. That's why they usually don't charge recklessly. Kong manages to repel the monster's attack and finally kills it. Frustrated, he hurls insults at Saiwu and loudly declares that he'll deal with him later. Saiwu remains terrified. Using his ultimate technique, Kong defeats the remaining monsters. Standing triumphantly atop one of the beasts, Kong begins to brag. But then his temper flares. Yelling at Saiwu, he demands, "Didn't you say Arachne shoot webs first?" Saiwu trembles in fear. He thinks to himself that if the Arachne are charging like this, it must be a last resort, something they only do when they're already in a desperate situation. Kong grabs our boy by the collar and demands, "Are you seriously going to keep handling things like this?" Saiwu apologizes. But Kong isn't satisfied. Apologizing isn't enough. "I almost died because of you," he shouts, delivering a brutal punch to Saiwu's stomach. Saiwu screams in pain and collapses. Kong sneers and asks if Saiwu has ever done proper research. Then, muttering under his breath, he complains, "Guys without characteristics are always a problem." It is then narrated that a characteristic is a special ability granted upon awakening, commonly referred to as a unique power. Manag, another teammate, glares at Kong in disgust. He thinks to himself that although Saiwu is awakened, his ability lacks a proper characteristic, making him completely unremarkable and nearly useless in the hunter world. Manag reflects that in order to survive, Saiwu clings to hunters, performing only monster analysis and strategic planning. Meanwhile, Kong scratches his ear and rants that he nearly died because of that bastard Saiwu. He brags that if he hadn't been there, the entire team would have perished. But his teammates remain silent. They're trembling with fear. Suddenly, a monster growls. A teammate with black hair urgently tells Kong to look behind him. A massive monster creeps toward Kong, nearly looming over his head. Without warning, it slams into the ground nearby. Kong screams, "Run!" It's an elite monster, much bigger than the previous ones. An elite monster is a double-mutated species that evolves from a normal one. It growls and charges. Kong and his 4 teammates flee for their lives. Saiwu lags behind. The monster is nearly upon him. Kong glances back and mutters to himself, "Are we really going to die here?" Then he makes a horrifying decision. We need bait. As Saiwu turns around to see the charging beast, Kong kicks him hard. Our boy falls helplessly in front of the monster. Kong sneers, "This all happened because you botched the research. You should take responsibility." Left alone, Saiwu stares in horror as the monster's footsteps echo above him. His eyes widen, his body shivering uncontrollably. He mutters, I can't move." The monster growls and prepares to strike. Closing his eyes tightly, Saiwu wonders, "Is this how I die?" Suddenly, he recalls the final moments he spent with his mother, lying weakly on a hospital bed, taking her last breath. He remembers how she had grasped his hand and asked him to protect Sioa, his little sister. His eyes snap open. "I can't die here," he says to himself. "I have to live for Sioa." Gritting his teeth, he grabs a sword and rises to his feet. The monster snarls. Saiwu roars, charging at it. "I have to survive." Just then, something crashes nearby, an explosive impact. Our boy is flung backward and lands hard. His sword also drops. He yells out, "What is happening?" Suddenly, he looks to the side. A hero is sitting next to him. Saiwu is stunned. The hero is wearing a long gown and glares at our boy, wondering to himself, who is this guy? Just then, another crash shakes the area as blinding light bursts forth. Both Saiwu and the hero turn toward the source of the blast. A humanoid figure with a demonic appearance emerges, flickering a purple flame in his hand. The demon roars, demanding to know where the hero has hidden the thing. Leaping down from a rocky ledge, the demon snarls. Without hesitation, the demon lunges forward. At the same moment, the hero also charges at the demon. Both release strange roars as they clash violently. Watching the scene, Saiwa wonders why they are fighting. As their blows collide, a massive explosion shakes the ground. Saiwu, overwhelmed, tries to shield himself. He appears completely lost, having no idea what is happening around him. The demon slides backward and lets out an eerie laugh. The hero frowns in response. Kung Saiwu assumes, watches, sensing an overwhelming presence, so intense that even Arachne and elite monsters would tremble before it. The demon and the hero are unbelievably powerful, relentlessly attacking one another with explosive energy. Each impact sends waves of force through the air, irritating our boy, who clenches his teeth while watching the chaos unfold. The demon suddenly jumps into the air and delivers a crushing kick to the hero. With a burst of energy, the hero crashes into the rocky terrain. The demon roars again, shouting for the hero to reveal the location of the hidden object and declaring that his resistance ends now. It becomes clear the demon is after something. He repeatedly demands it, but the hero stands tall and unyielding. He firmly responds, "It's far from over." With that, the hero launches a series of fireballs toward the demon. The demon sneers and counters with a purple energy sphere. The two attacks collide, unleashing a tremendous explosion. For the first time, the demon's expression shifts from rage to fear. If this continues, he mutters, "I won't make it out of here alive." The hero laughs coldly. "I don't care," he replies. Then he turns his head towards Saiwu. The hero speaks directly to him. "I've kept the possibility open. I'm sorry you got involved." Saiwu stares at him in disbelief. As the energy builds, it begins to form a power orb, crackling with instability. A massive explosion erupts. A faint, peaceful smile forms on the hero's face, while the demon howls in rage. The shockwave flings our boy backward with incredible force. Just before vanishing, the hero calls out to Saiwu, "Take care of it." Saiwu stares at him in shock. After the explosion, everything disappears. When the smoke clears, Saiwu slowly rises, amazed. Beneath his feet, he notices something, a mobile phone-like device. He picks it up and stares at it curiously. Why is there a smartphone here, he wonders. As he touches the screen, a message appears. Verifying new administrator. Everything feels strange and surreal. Moments later, another notification appears. Access route confirmed. Administrator succession complete. Saiwa's eyes widen. What is happening? Suddenly, a series of ding-ding sounds chime from the device. The screen glows brighter as an unfamiliar app launches. GodTube. A message flashes. Welcome, Administrator, to GodTube. Saiwa blinks, confused. He has no idea what GodTube is. Kong and his team somehow manage to escape the dungeon. They collapse under the trees, panting heavily. Kong groans. How can I be this unlucky? Running into an elite monster in an upper C-rank dungeon, it makes no sense. One of his teammates smirks and sarcastically thanks Kong, saying that thanks to him, they all survived. Another sneers, using our boy as bait was a brilliant move. The team laughs and gives each other thumbs up. A guy in a black shirt compliments Kong, telling him he's incredibly skilled. Kong grins and replies, "There's a reason our channel is called We Solve Everything. You've got to think fast in situations like that." Suddenly, our boy Saiwu steps out of the dungeon. He calls out to Kong from behind. Kong freezes in shock when he hears his voice. Saiwu calls him a bastard and begins walking toward him. As Kong turns around, Saiwu throws a punch at his neck. Kong blocks it and counters with a powerful blow to Saiwa's face. "You think in F rank like you can fight me?" Kong sneers. "I don't know how you survived, but my plan worked." Saiwa gasps for air, his body trembling. Kong lets out a bizarre laugh. Besides, I was too lazy to find a new editor anyway. Breathing heavily, Saiwa mutters, "You're insane." Then, with defiance in his voice, he asks, "How could you expect me to work with someone who tried to kill me?" Kong presses his knee into Saiwa and says coldly, "You were the one who begged and cried because your sister was dying. I pitied you and helped. Don't forget that." He lifts his hand to slap Saiwa, but this time, Saiwa blocks it. "If you really want me to accept that," Saiwa says, "then don't miss a single shot. That habit stuck with me because of your constant nagging." I didn't know if it'd ever be useful, but maybe it was. Saiwa then pulls out the camera. "If I edit the footage I left behind and upload it properly, the video could go viral." Kong chuckles darkly. "I could kill you right now." Saiwa narrows his eyes. "You might kill me, but you'll go to jail. And all the work you put into this channel, gone." "Honestly, that sounds good to me." He pauses, then adds, "Let's just go down together." But Kang's face hardens. "If that video ever gets out, your sister won't be safe." Our boy falls silent. Kong turns to his teammates and says, "As soon as we get back, we're finding a new editor." His teammates exchange uneasy glances. Kong growls again, "Don't waste time. Get the gear." Saiwa clenches his fists, anger rising. With a calm but firm voice, he says, "If you ever touch Sioa, I don't know what I'll do." Later, our boy returns home. Sitting in his room, he turns on the phone and launches GodTube, the channel of the gods. He scrolls through the interface and reflects. YouTube is a video hosting site where anyone can upload or watch videos freely. Among all the different types of content, hunter channels are the most dominant. He watches one user at the Saint, who wields a holy sword with true damage, purchased from Hephaestus. Another user at Odin is shown as the Serpent Slayer, defeating Jormungandr in just 12 minutes. Many gods from mythology and figures from folklore run their own channels. Staring at the screen, Saiwa asks himself, are they really all running YouTube channels? He remembers the hero and wonders why the man left the smartphone behind after the battle. Eventually, he sighs and tosses the phone aside. I still can't figure it out. But as he gazes at the device again, a new thought strikes him. If people like them actually exist and run channels, they'd probably start with hundreds of millions of subscribers. He clenches his fists. I'm going to see them again. Looking at the phone, he murmurs, "This thing's well made." Feeling bored, he scrolls and clicks on a video titled Righteousness, Faith, and Decisive Judgment. A prompt appears. Become a member to watch while acquiring the Insight trait. Without thinking, he clicks. A new message pops up. You have subscribed to Zhuge Liang's channel. You have acquired Insight. Saiwa blinks, surprised. He wonders, is an upper S rank just a theory? Supposedly, only the heroes who fought the invasion of the demonic realm, there were only 13 of them. Suddenly, an imaginary screen appears midair. Saiwa stares in amazement. Did I just gain a power by subscribing to a channel? He looks at his hands. Nothing feels different. Maybe because it's Insight. If it affects perception or intelligence, it might not show right away. He squints at the screen. In a case like this, testing it visually might not help. Deciding to investigate further, he subscribes to a second channel, Hercules. The channel description reads, Personal Training Sessions. Today's workout, Demolishing Zeus' House. Saiwa taps Subscribe. You have subscribed to Hercules' channel. You have acquired Super Strength SS rank. Now he's subscribed to 2 channels and has 1 subscription left. Saiwa is stunned. He punches the air in excitement and accidentally smashes his laptop. Saiwa shrieks loudly, overwhelmed, and wonders if he has really acquired an SS rank ability. A notification pops up confirming Super Strength activated. Proficiency increased. Current proficiency, 1%. Sitting cross-legged, Saiwa exclaims, "This is amazing. I actually gained an SS rank ability just by subscribing." He scratches his head while staring at the phone, muttering, "I still don't understand what GodTube even is." Another notification appears. Insight has slightly increased. Proficiency, 0.1%. Saiwa grips the phone tightly and gazes at the screen. Do I have to reach 100% proficiency to fully unlock the upper S rank trait by training with Hercules? Curious, our boy clicks on Hercules' video. It begins with a hulking, muscular figure, Hercules, landing in a city. He wears a lion mask on his head, and the people scatter in fear. Hercules lifts a massive pillar with ease and shouts, "I love this tingling feeling." Energy bolts crackle around him as he roars strangely. Terrified, Siwa shrieks, and his phone nearly slips from his hand. "There's no way I'm doing personal training with that guy," he gasps, quickly pressing the unsubscribe button. Now I get why he only has one subscriber. But a message appears, "Subscription cancellation is unavailable." From within the screen, Hercules points directly at Siwa. "You weakling," he growls, laughing. "You came here willingly. Don't think you can just walk away?" Panicking, Siwa taps unsubscribe repeatedly, but the same message keeps flashing. "Subscription cancellation is unavailable." Once a subscription is used, it cannot be canceled. His temper flares. "Why the hell is cancellation impossible?" he yells, furiously tapping the screen again. Another notification appears. "You have subscribed to 2 out of 3 channels." The video ends with Hercules smirking. "See you tomorrow," he says. "Get ready to train." Suddenly, Siwa's actual phone rings, pulling him out of the madness. It's Kong Dokyo. Siwa mutters angrily, "Why is he calling me?" He answers with irritation, "What do you want?" Kong laughs on the other end. "I can't believe you picked up. I thought you blocked me." "What do you want, Kong?" "I'm calling to offer you a job." "Did you just call to start a fight?" Siwa snaps. "No, really. This is business," Kong insists. "You're not worth my time." Kong chuckles. "Weren't we just working together recently? I'm not messing around with you anymore." "Well then, how about this? The SH Group has offered a collaboration." That catches Siwa's attention. SH Group, he repeats. South Korea's #1 company. Not long ago, their granddaughter awakened as a hunter with 2 S-rank characteristics. As Kong talks, Siwa processes the information. So SH Group is finally entering the hunter industry? "They're testing the waters with my channel," Kong adds proudly. "This collaboration is their first step." Siwa replies bluntly, "I'm not interested." Kong pushes further. "What if I said 5 million won per video?" Siwa repeats, 5 million. His eyes narrow. Kong presses on. "Still not interested." "That's 10 times your usual fee. A win-win for both of us." "How much do you want, then?" Kong asks. Siwa smirks. 50 million. Kong chokes. "Are you insane?" "That's about 40,000 US dollars, Siwa states calmly. Kong clenches his teeth in fury. He's figured out that SH Group is paying me a fortune. Suddenly, a notification pops up. Sharp Insight has increased by 2%. Siwa laughs and mocks him. "Should I guess why SH Group chose me and not another S-rank hunter?" Kong grumbles. "Go on." "It's because their granddaughter awakened with 2 characteristics. Chairman Hante-san won't just sit back. He wants her to learn the fundamentals of being a hunter." "And what's the foundation of being a hunter?" Siwa asks. "Monster strategy," he answers himself. "That's what our channel provided. We gained over 200,000 subscribers. And the real reason it worked? My strategies." He adds, "Technically, the CO didn't approach you. SH Group is interested in my monster knowledge." Kong scoffs. "Still, 50 million is outrageous." Siwa crosses his arms. "Do you disagree?" Kong grinds his teeth. "Fine. If I have to, I'll pay out of my own pocket. I'll take a loan if I must." He hits the speaker button and puts the phone down. Smirking, Kong mutters to himself, "If he won't do it, I'll find someone else." The next day, Kong takes our boy with him into a B-rank dungeon. The two exchange an awkward glance. Siwa breaks the silence. "When are you going to deposit the rest of the money?" Kong, staring at his phone, replies rudely, "I told you. I'll send it after we're done." Then, shifting the topic, he abruptly asks, "When is Han-Charon arriving?" Suddenly, the sound of footsteps from behind grabs their attention. A pretty girl approaches and introduces herself. "I'm Han-Charon," she says. "I'll be joining you for this raid. Let's move." Siwa watches her in surprise. She's stunning, but looks hard to approach. Still, he reminds himself, as long as I get paid, I'm good. Han takes the lead, and the rest of the team follows. Our boy silently reassures himself, just focus on the job. Soon, they come across a hulking beast. Its muscular frame reflects a dark, demonic light. That's a dark troll, Saiwa mutters. Han studies the creature carefully. Kong chimes in, dark trolls are among the strongest upper-class B-rank monsters. They're almost capable of regeneration. He continues, parroting the strategy Saiwa had explained to him earlier. If you attack without knowing what you're doing, you'll die. Before he finishes, Han draws her sword and dashes toward the beast with remarkable bravery. With a swift leap, with a single strike, she takes down the monster, then lands gracefully on the ground. Kong and our boy stare at her in awe, and remarks casually, "That was easy." Kong laughs, impressed. "You understood perfectly, even though I only gave a rough explanation. You really are an S-rank hunter." "You're too kind," Han replies, a little awkwardly. Saiwa gazes at the weapon and asks, "That sword, it's one of the legendary Aurelian weapons, isn't it?" "Aurelianes, the world's greatest blacksmith," he adds. "How much does it cost?" Han glances at the sword. "About 20 billion won." Kong and Saiwa both freeze, shocked by the price. The intricate patterns along the blade seem to shimmer, almost reflecting the sword's worth. Pointing ahead, Han says, "Killing one troll isn't enough to get a full read of the situation. Let's keep moving." About an hour later, as they venture deeper into the dungeon, Han suddenly senses something. Looking up, Han mutters, "I'm getting a better sense of things now. Seems there are no more trolls. In other words, it's time to wrap up." Kong bows slightly and shakes her hand. "Thanks for your hard work." Han nods. "I'll be heading out now." Kong watches her leave, regretting his missed opportunity. "This could have been my shot to get scouted by the SH Hunter Guild, and now I'll probably just end up giving Saiwa 50 million. Saiwa smirks, sensing Kang's silent frustration. Suddenly, the ground begins to tremble. Heavy stomps echo through the cave. Han looks up. "What's that sound?" Kang's eyes light up. "This is my chance. Judging by that weight, it's probably an elite monster." But when the towering skull-faced creature appears, our boy gulps. "No, that's not an elite monster. That's a boss." The monster roars. Then it charges directly at Han. She raises her sword and blocks the attack, but only for a moment. Kong, now visibly nervous, watches his teammates start running for the exit. The monster slams into the dungeon wall, causing rocks to fall from above. Debris crashes down, but the team continues their frantic escape. Kong bolts toward the exit. Forget SH Group, he thinks. I just need to survive. He sprints faster. I can't die here. I've got to get out now. Han stumbles, clearly shaken. The monster lands in front of Kong, cutting off his path. Panicked, Kong freezes, but Han dives under the beast's strike and saves him just in time. Kong shrieks in terror as Han counters with a fierce slash, though it barely holds back the monster. The impact throws her back. She crashes into a rock wall and collapses, groaning in pain. Before she can recover, the monster swings again. Han barely dodges. She leaps onto its body, aiming near the head, but her attack is ineffective. The beast glares at her with its glowing demonic eyes and lashes out again. Han keeps dodging, barely staying ahead of the attacks, but they're fast. Too fast. Finally, the monster catches her. She blocks its crushing blow with everything she has. Her body trembles under its weight. Watching, Saiwa's heart sinks. We can't win. Even with 2 S-rank characteristics, Han is still inexperienced. The monsters strike at her continuously, slamming her into the ground. Our only choice is to leave her behind and run, Saiwa thinks, shaking with fear. If I don't run, I'll die. Saiwa's face trembles with fear. He wonders if he should trust the SS-rank super strength granted by GodTube, even though he still doesn't fully understand how GodTube works. Meanwhile, Kong is shrieking in panic. Without hesitation, he dashes past Saiwa and runs toward the exit. Our boy frowns as he watches Kong flee and recalls the moment when Kong threw him in front of a monster and abandoned him. He remembers Kong blaming him for messing up the research while he lay helpless on the ground. On the other side, Han is doing her best to fight, but she's clearly losing strength. Saiwa murmurs to himself, "We can't win." The voices in his head scream, "Run. Leave the cave." But instead of fleeing, Saiwa rushes forward and yells to the others to escape. "Run. If you stay, you'll die for nothing." Yet he doesn't leave. He plants himself before the monster, trying to draw its attention away from Han. He knows he could die, but if he doesn't abandon Han, he'll prove he's nothing like the cowardly Kong. The monster growls with rage. Han trembles beneath the beast's merciless attacks, her strength almost completely drained. Then Saiwa charges forward and throws a powerful punch with everything he has. His fist radiates a divine light, just like Hercules from GodTube. Han, startled, leaps into the air, and the monster's arm paralyzes briefly from the blow. The creature snarls and turns its demonic glare towards Saiwa. Han watches in disbelief. Did that monster just get deflected by his punch? She thinks, who is this guy? She's stunned by the raw power Saiwa just displayed. His body glows with a faint blue aura, the aura of Hercules. Saiwa feels a surge of energy rushing through him. He stares at his palm in awe. Power is radiating from within. Energy bursts from his hands like crackling sparks. The monster roars and launches another brutal attack. But Saiwa catches it, stopping the blow with his own strength. A wave of blue energy ripples through the monster's arm, halting it in place. Saiwa gestures to Han. Now. Han nods and leaps onto the monster's body. With precise movement, she strikes at the monster with her sword, landing it. Then, spinning with incredible speed, she runs along the monster's arm and takes down the monster with her decisive strikes. Saiwa stares, amazed. Is it over? Just then, a transparent screen appears before him. Insight has increased, but Saiwa's expression darkens. Something's wrong. He recalls, this boss monster is a type of mutant. It undergoes 2 transformations. Its body naturally changes and regenerates. It growls again. Watch out, Saiwa shouts. The mutated beast grabs Han with its massive hand. She screams in fear, struggling to break free. Her attempts to escape fail. Saiwa mutters, if Han dies here, it's all over. He clenches his fists. If the traits I got from GodTube are real, if this power truly belongs to me, I have to act. He decides to buy her some time. Trembling, Han screams, run, but Saiwa charges forward and grabs the monster's enormous fingers. Aim for its heart, he shouts. With great effort, Han breaks free from the monster's grip and falls to the ground. I got it, she yells. Breathing hard, she dashes toward the beast again. Saiwa, trust me, and get out of here. But Saiwa holds tight to the monster's fingers, sneering. Not a chance. Han charges, landing a strike at the monster's heart. Saiwa grits his teeth. There's no time to explain everything, but she has to know. He shouts, ogres have 2 hearts. Han's eyes widen. 2. She quickly understands. If he's right, using her intuition and 6th sense, she reacts instantly. The monster swings its arm at her, but Han leaps high into the air, dodging the blow. She spins and strikes again, this time striking at the 2nd heart, and then the monster falls to the ground. Saiwa charges forward, roaring, his body glowing with the intense blue light of Hercules. Han lands behind him as our boy leaps high and throws a crushing final blow, and finally defeats the monster with his powerful strike. Han wipes the sweat from her forehead and breathes deeply. They've won. She turns to call our boy, but suddenly collapses, falling unconscious. Han rushes over to him, worried. Without hesitation, she takes him to the hospital. Around noon, Saiwa slowly opens his eyes and finds himself lying in a hospital bed. Disoriented, he glances around, then freezes when he sees Han Charon sitting nearby. Saiwa stammers, "Why are you here, in the hospital?" Han replies calmly, "You were injured pretty badly, so I brought you here. Your muscles were torn, and your ribs were broken." Then she leans in slightly and asks, "More importantly, how are you feeling now?" She's sitting quite close to him. Saiwa feels flustered. He doesn't answer right away, and silently thinks she's way too close. Suddenly, Han touches his forehead. Saiwa blushes uncontrollably. He stares at her, completely speechless. "You have a bit of a fever," she murmurs. After a pause, she adds, "By the way, we haven't introduced ourselves yet." She looks at him expectantly. Saiwa quickly replies, "I'm Saiwa." He hesitates, glancing at her face. Didn't she already know my name? She must have seen my details when I was admitted. But Han smiles faintly and says coldly, "I wanted to hear it from you directly." Saiwa gives a confused look. Can she read my mind? He wonders. Maybe people weren't exaggerating when they said her sixth sense is an S-rank trait. Han continues, I know you just woke up and must be confused. But I have a proposal. Saiwa blinks. Proposal? Han nods. I want you to join my team. He's stunned. Me? Join your team. Correct. It's because you helped defeat the ogre. Then, without hesitation, she adds, how about an annual salary of 1 billion won? Saiwa's eyes go wide. Wait, did you say 1 billion? She confirms with a nod. And you'll also receive a share of the profit from any monster parts we collect. Saiwa trembles with joy. This is insane. 1 billion won salary plus loot shares? Han goes on. I also heard your sister is suffering from hemathanatos, and she's being treated at SH Hospital. I can cover her treatment while she's there. Saiwa narrows his eyes. And what do you want in return? Han answers plainly, I want you to develop monster strategies for every raid I participate in. After delivering her proposal, she stands up and leaves the hospital room. The ward lights are dim. Saiwa lies in bed, resting. Did I make the wrong decision? He wonders. He recalls rejecting her offer earlier. In response, Han had said, let me know if you change your mind. You saved my life, so I'll still cover your sister's medical bills. Saiwa stares at the ceiling, thinking, I'm going to trust the potential of GodTube, the insight and super strength I gained there. This power might be real. He reminds himself, GodTube is legit. It's a channel of the gods, so powerful that even S-rank hunters can't compare. He sighs, trying to reassure himself. There's no need to rush into a deal. I shouldn't tie myself down when I have this much potential. My priority is to find a way to cure Sioa's illness. Saiwa thinks of Ming Sioa, his little sister. Years ago, she was caught in a dungeon break and contracted hemathanatos, a rare disease where the blood dies. Modern medicine can't cure it. At best, it can only manage symptoms. Maybe if I gain more traits through GodTube, maybe I can cure her. But then comes the reality. The ingredients for treatment are ridiculously expensive, especially for rare diseases. I'll need a lot of money, he mutters. He sits up and grabs his scratched-up laptop. First things first. I need to finish editing that 50 million won video. As he plays the footage, his eyes widen at the sight of Han's sword. That's the 20 billion won sword she mentioned. Looking at it closely, Saiwa thinks, if I could make and sell gear like this, I'd be a millionaire or even a billionaire in no time. He starts imagining himself inside a metallurgy workshop, lost in his thoughts. Then reality kicks in. I still have one subscription left. He checks the app. To gain more subscriptions, he need to purchase membership. That irritates him. He scowls at the screen. Membership cost 100 million won. There's only one answer, he says to himself. I need to learn metalworking and start making weapons. Scrolling further, he finds a user named Hephaestus. The video title reads, 99 rounds of reforging with Hephaestus, a challenge to reforge Thor's stolen Mjolnir. Saiwa uses his final free subscription. A notification appears. You have subscribed to the Hephaestus channel, SS rank, Divine Metallurgy. On the screen, Hephaestus appears, hammering glowing red-hot iron into shape. Each strike echoes with divine intensity. Hephaestus roars, you can't fear failure when reforging. In the video, he adds gruffly, kids these days lack guts. But you, Saiwa, prepare yourself. Your weapon might break. Saiwa grows anxious. Why should I expect my weapon to break? And why do all these gods act so strangely? Another screen notification flashes. Flawed knowledge in metallurgy corrected. Divine metallurgy proficiency slightly increased. A few days later, in the morning, Saiwa is deep into his workout routine. He's hanging from a pull-up bar, performing one-handed pull-ups. His physique has noticeably improved. He's leaner, stronger, more energetic. A pair of nurses stand at a distance, watching him. He looks a lot more toned now, one nurse says. The other shrugs. I didn't really notice. Overhearing them, Saiwa wonders, am I really that toned now? The younger nurse continues. The doctor said his recovery has been unbelievably fast, even for a hunter. He might be discharged tomorrow. Saiwa is caught off guard. Tomorrow? That's sooner than I thought. He mutters to himself, I better squeeze in a few more workouts before I leave. Suddenly, another notification appears. Super strength proficiency slightly increased. Current proficiency 1.01%. Saiwa thinks, if I overuse super strength, my muscle fibers could tear again. I can't afford to slack on my training. Just then, Sio arrives. She calls out to him cheerfully from behind. Saiwa turns and smiles warmly at the sight of her. I heard you're being discharged tomorrow, she says. Yeah, Saiwa replies with a grin. Looks like I'm getting out sooner than expected. Sio takes a deep breath. When you were first brought in, you were in such terrible shape. I was so worried. She pauses, then adds, the hospital said you'd need at least a month to recover. How are they letting you out after just a week? Saiwa quietly notes, she's upset I'm being discharged so early. He smiles and gently pats her head. Don't neglect your own treatment just because I'm leaving. You still need to stay strong. And don't worry about the money. Sio nods. I know. And I'm thankful to Han. Because of her, I'm getting treatment for free. At the mention of Han's name, Saiwa chuckles. Sio continues, she even asked me to be her friend. She said I remind her of her younger sister, even though she doesn't have one. Saiwa raises an eyebrow. Wait, you met Han? Sio giggles. Of course. She's visited me a few times. Saiwa scratches his head, embarrassed. She came to visit you, and I missed it? How? She usually comes when you're out exercising, Sio explains. She always asks how you're doing. Saiwa falls silent, thoughtful. Even though she's busy with SH Hunter Guild duties, she still made time to visit Sio. Is she trying to recruit me? Sio laughs teasingly. I think Han's interested in you. No way, Saiwa quickly denies. That's not true at all. Sio rolls her eyes. You really don't get how popular you are, do you? Even the nurses talk about you every day. Saiwa, slightly flustered, says, all right, that's enough. Don't get any weird ideas. Go back inside. I've got something to do. He turns away. Sio notices his sudden shift in tone. Cooler, more distant. Saiwa mutters to himself, I have to make money. Saiwa enters an F-rank dungeon. He looks around cautiously, glancing at his trembling hand. I'm nervous. It's my first time hunting a monster directly, he mutters. Suddenly, the sound of footsteps grabs his attention. A group of green, demonic-looking beasts, Goblin Den, emerges. Some carry stones, which they begin hurling at Saiwa. He quickly dodges to the side, sneering. I know goblins act in groups, but this is a bit too much. Now the goblins wield antique hammers, roaring as they charge at him. One goblin swings its hammer, but Saiwa evades the attack and counters with a powerful punch to its stomach. The goblin flies into the air. But I might be stronger than I thought. The other goblins freeze, stunned by their comrade's sudden defeat. Saiwa cracks his neck, rubs his wrist, and steps forward with a smirk. Come on, then. All of you. After defeating them, Saiwa gathers the goblin parts and heads to a metallurgy workshop. He dumps the pile in front of the shop and asks the owner of Sio's workshop, Sipelguang, how much can I get for all this? Sio, a young and handsome metallurgy specialist, scowls at the heap. I asked for materials, not garbage, he snaps. What are you expecting me to make from this? Saiwa says nothing, simply staring at him. Sio sighs. Fine, I'll show you how smelting works. Follow me, and pay attention. He leads Saiwa inside. Hammering isn't just about strength, he explains. I spent most of my youth studying metallurgy. 20 years later, I became a specialist. As Sio hammers glowing iron, flames rise from the forge. Good materials don't guarantee A rank or S rank gear, he warns. You've got to know what you're doing. Saiwa watches, amazed. Sio isn't just skilled, he's passionate. He must have awakened with the craftsmanship trait. After a while, Sio hands Saiwa a hammer. I've shown you how it's done. Now it's your turn. Saiwa nods and steps forward. Sio stands behind, observing carefully. He's not here to commission a weapon, Sio thinks. He even offered to rent the workshop. No one's ever asked that before. He's the first. Out of curiosity, Sio had agreed. As Saiwa begins hammering, Sio studies his movements. People these days think metallurgy is easy, thanks to video games, Sio reflects. But it took me 20 years to get here. This kid probably thinks it's simple because of some YouTube tutorials. But as he continues watching, Sio's expression changes. Wait, I might have misjudged him. Suddenly, the door bursts open. Kim So-eun, CEO of So-eun Trading Company, steps in carrying a large bag. CEO, still inspecting a sword blade, glances up. "Is that you, Kim So-eun?" She laughs. "Obviously. Who else would come to your sweaty little workshop? You could have sent someone," CEO mutters. "Why show up in person? This deal is with the best blacksmith in South Korea." "I had to come myself," she replies. "Typical flattery," CEO grumbles. Kim smirks and sets the bag down. She shows CEO the materials he requested. "They're over there," CEO says. "The blades are sharp. Be careful while checking them." Kim chuckles. These are for the SH group, after all. As they talk, the steady clanging of a hammer interrupts their conversation. Annoyed, Kim turns toward the sound. "Can you stop that? We can't hear ourselves talk." Saiwo instantly halts his work. Kim glances at him. Who is this guy? He looks like an idiot. And what is he even making? Curious, she picks up one of the swords he was working on. Running her fingers along the rough blade, she asks CEO bluntly, "Did this kid actually make this?" CEO nods. "What do you think?" Kim scoffs. "The blades are dull. The shape is rough. Completely unusable." CEO chuckles. "You wouldn't believe it, but that sword was made entirely from goblin and kobold." Kim stares at him, stunned. "Seriously? And the materials were in awful condition," CEO adds. It's also the first time he's ever used a hammer. Kim's eyebrows rise. "Is he your apprentice?" CEO shakes his head. "No. I made him an offer, but he turned it down. Still, seeing him work that hammer, I couldn't believe it was his first time. He was focused, committed. No one else could have made anything useful from trash like that, but Saiwa did." Kim turns back and gives Saiwa a long, serious look. He's wiping the sweat from his face, holding a rough dagger in his hand. A screen notification appears. "You have successfully crafted a weapon from junk found in the trash." Saiwa receives a notification. Divine metallurgy proficiency slightly increased. He stares awkwardly at the dagger in his hand. Letting out a laugh, he mutters, "It's not junk. I actually managed to make a weapon." He studies it for a moment. Now, he just needs to figure out how to sell it. Just then, Kim So-eun walks back over and asks, "Are you thinking of selling that sword?" She extends her hand and introduces herself. "I'm Kim So-eun, CEO of So-eun Trading Company." Saiwa pauses. That name. He remembers hearing about the company. It's a well-known, reputable firm in the hunter industry, praised for its integrity and high standards. Kim elaborates, "We only deal in the finest products in South Korea." She glances at the weapon in his hand. "If you're thinking of selling it, I'm ready to buy." Saiwa chuckles. Kim smiles and says, "Take a closer look first. I'll offer 1,000,000 won for each." Narration. After closing the deal with Kim, Saiwa began crafting weapons like a madman. He hunted countless beasts and forged gear day and night. Kim, thrilled with the results, was soon celebrating. The So-eun Trading Company just signed an official contract with SH Group, she announced joyfully. Turning to Saiwa, she laughed. "You really have talent. Meeting deadlines, flawless equipment, this is how trust is built." She looked him in the eyes. "Without you, I don't know how we would have pulled this off." She gently held his hands. "Thank you, Saiwa." Then, reaching into her pocket, she pulled out her phone. "Check your account." Saiwa blinked, confused. "Huh, go on." "Check." He opened his banking app, and his eyes widened as the notification came in. So-eun Trading Company has deposited 284,242,000 Korean wons, approximate $250,000 US. Saiwa, still stunned, said, "Wait, I thought I was getting 28 million won." Kim raised an eyebrow. "Check again." He refreshed the screen. His jaw dropped. 280 million. He couldn't believe it. A wave of joy washed over him. Narration. At just 23 years old, Meng Saiwa had officially become a slave to money. Saiwa sits in CEO's workshop, deep in thought. He checks his mobile account balance, 280 million won. "I can finally sign up for the GodTube membership to treat Saiwa," he says to himself. He browses through several GodTube channels, including Hwata, the legendary physician, known as the Divine Doctor. Hippocrates, often called the father of medicine. Hyo Jun, the pioneer of traditional Korean medicine. Saiwa notices that subscribing to all 3 channels would cost 300 million won per month. Given his current situation, he realizes he can only afford to choose one. He feels overwhelmed and confused about which to pick. Nervously, he scratches his face in frustration, closes his eyes, and randomly subscribes to one of the 3. The sound of hammering echoes through the workshop. Seo approaches him. Materials with high brittleness are difficult to polish, he says. You'll have to minimize the polishing process. There's no way around it. Saiwa glances at him, puzzled. They whisper about precision forging, noting that while it's possible with brittle materials, it requires exact precision. Just then, Kim So-eun arrives, interrupting their conversation. Seo frowns. Why do you keep coming here? He asks, clearly annoyed. I came to see Master Ming Saiwu, Kim replies playfully. Saiwu greets her warmly. I was waiting for you. Kim raises a brow. Really? You were waiting for me? You said earlier that if I ever needed anything, I could ask you. Saiwa reminds her, handing her a piece of paper. Can you get these? Kim reads the list. It's filled with rare medicinal herbs like rockweed, 100-year-old ginseng, and 100-year-old Chinese fleece flower. Saiwa asks, are those hard to find? Kim replies calmly, I can get them, but they're expensive. You're looking at around 300 million won. Maybe I can knock off 20 million at best. Saiwa jolts at the price. 300 million. He thinks to himself, to raise my proficiency in divine medicine, granted through the Hua Tuan membership, I need these herbs. He realizes that acquiring such rare materials would be nearly impossible without Kim's help. Kim asks, should I get them for you? Saiwa laughs nervously and nods. Scratching his head, he mentally calculates his balance. After receiving 284 million won and spending most of it, he's left with only 4 million won. He also recalls that his GodTube membership fee, due at the end of the month, is 100 million won. I definitely need more money. Even if he crafts more gear, it won't be cheap. Suddenly, he remembers the YouTube channel. The scene shifts. Kong is on a train. The windows rattle, and passengers chatter around him. A bored young man with brown hair sits on a bunk, scrolling through your tube. There's nothing worth watching, he mumbles. Then he spots a WSE channel video on the homepage. The thumbnail shows Kong pointing at a hippo. Curious, the young man taps play. The video begins with hippos swimming in a pond. Kong appears, dressed in a hippo costume. He cheerfully says, did you know hippos are not related to horses? The brown-haired viewer raises an eyebrow. Kong gestures toward the hippo, explaining, this monster is called Hippodon. It's known as hippopotamus in some regions. And while the name originates from words related to horses, hippos are not part of the equine family. He adds, they actually belong to the bovine family. He pulls out a red cloth and waves it in front of the hippos. First step to taking down a hippodon. Get its attention with red. He smirks. Though, truth be told, bulls and hippos don't react to red itself. It's about movement and agitation. The brown-haired guy watches skeptically. Kong flaps the cloth again. The hippos grunt, then charge toward him. As they approach, Kong mutters, Step 2, just beat them up. The viewer stares blankly. Is that even a strategy? Kong runs headfirst into the stampede. The screen shakes. Dust flies everywhere. When the dust settles, then we see our boy is able to defeat all the monsters. Kong stands grinning and gives a thumbs up. Easy, right? He laughs. The brown-haired guy is stunned. Another pair of hippos charges at Kong. First, go for the head, then the belly. Kong instructs. He delivers a punch to the hippo's head, then its belly, then the back. The creature collapses. The viewer is now completely absorbed. Kang's strategies are weirdly effective. Kong addresses the camera. If this helped, smash that like button and subscribe. And don't forget to turn on notifications. The viewer scrolls down and reads the comments. Kong is insane. How is this even possible with bare hands? Hippodon just got knocked out. The video has almost 4,000 views. The brown-haired guy, impressed, subscribes to the channel. A notification appears. WSE channel subscribers, 243. Back in the workshop, our boy sneers and says quietly, everything is going according to plan. Our boy Saiwu is scrolling through your tube. The MWSE channel now has 1,243 subscribers, and the Hippo Down strategy video has reached 127,655 views. He swipes through the comments, grinning. Looks like the concept from the last video really worked. But then he frowns. This time, it's probably just the algorithm doing its thing. I can't be stuck handling low-rank monsters forever. Determined, he says, it's time to strike while the iron is hot. He recalls that the Hippo Down strategy has strong adaptability and believes it's time to gain even more traction. Analyzing and breaking down monster strategies is his specialty. Saiwo ponders, getting to 1 million subscribers, it's not just a pipe dream anymore. Saiwo is seated at his desktop, busy editing a new video. He scratches his nose and suddenly notices blood on his fingers. Startled, he pauses. A wave of dizziness hits him. I still need to finish editing, and there's the dungeon raid and deliveries, he mumbles. Staggering, he tries to steady himself, but his legs give out. He collapses, hitting the table hard. Lying on the ground, he gasps. I'm overworking myself. Later that night, Saiwa slowly opens his eyes and stares at the ceiling. Is this my room? He wonders aloud. Sitting up with a groan, he rubs his forehead. I must have passed out. My head's killing me. He thanks Hercules' super strength for keeping him from anything worse. Picking up his phone, he mutters, I really need to get back to editing. He glances at the time. 4:30 a.m. Saiwa shrieks. I was out for a whole day. He slumps forward. At this rate, I'll die from overworking before I even make any money. The next day, Saiwa visits Eden Cafe, sipping a smoothie while browsing applications on his phone. I didn't expect to get so many applicants, he mutters. Must be the decent pay. He reviews the job post. Base salary of 3 million won, plus incentives based on views. I need someone who can actually make money for me, he thinks. One video catches his eye. Impressive sound effects, well-timed humor. This guy edits better than me. He checks the time. Why hasn't the applicant shown up yet? The creator of the video is named Park Dyaku. Saiwa feels a bit tired. He reads over the messages he sent yesterday. Can we meet at Eden Cafe tomorrow at 1 p.m.? Park confirmed. Saiwa sighs. Must be some old guy. Probably going to show up late, apologizing. The clock hits 1 p.m. Still no sign. Frustrated, Saiwa texts again. Where are you? No reply. Hasn't even read the message, he groans. Maybe he's on the way. He sets the phone aside and stares at the clock, tapping the table impatiently. Suddenly, a young woman approaches. Sorry I'm late, she says cheerfully. I'm here for the interview. Saiwa, visibly annoyed, freezes. She sees his expression and looks startled. I'm Park Dyaku, the YouTube editor applicant. Saiwa blinks. You're? Park Dyaku. Wait, I thought she was going to be some old man. I'm really sorry, she continues. I was up late editing a video and forgot to pack lunch boxes for my younger siblings' field trip this morning. I rushed here without checking my phone. She bows again. I'm really sorry. Saiwa, softening, asks, Did you edit that video yourself? Park nods. Yes. I attached it with my application. You did that edit in one day? Actually, I uploaded it less than 3 hours after I started. Saiwa drops his head, stunned. 3 hours? Park tilts her head, confused by his reaction. After a moment, Saiwa looks up. Miss Park, when can you start? It takes me 8 hours to edit a video. She does it in 3. He grins. How much money can I make with that kind of speed? As I said in the job post, he continues, 2 videos a week is standard. Occasionally 3 with extra pay, of course. He extends his hand. Welcome aboard. Park looks a bit shy and doesn't shake it. She bows politely. Thank you for hiring me. I'll do my best. Suddenly, people outside start screaming and running. Dungeon break. Dungeon break. Saiwu and Park look around, startled. A dungeon break occurs when the magic inside a dungeon destabilizes, causing it to explode or release monsters into the city. A notification appears on a nearby screen. A dungeon break has been detected in a district name. It has been classified as a C-rank dungeon. Residents are urged to evacuate immediately. Saiwa smirks. Park, on the other hand, panics. Let's get out of here. We need to evacuate, she yells. Saiwa grins. Didn't you say you were ready to start working? Park stares at him in disbelief. Siwa winks. Let's go make some money. He hands her the camera. Follow me. Park nervously clutches the camera. Where are we going? To the dungeon, Siwa laughs. We've got content to shoot. They sprint against the panicked crowd, rushing toward the chaos. As the green demonic monsters spill into the streets, growling wildly, Park begins recording. She's shaken but focused. Siwa rushes at the nearest beast. And just like before, our boy with a single strike takes down the monsters, while informing how to defeat these kind of monsters. Facing the camera, he smirks. If you like this, hit that like button, subscribe, and don't forget to turn on notifications. Turning back toward the horde, he mutters, It's time to make some money.